We can't deprive them.
Guys, I have my real dice for this session now.
Ooh.
They got unpacked finally.
Ooh. Thanks for reminding me that I should get my real dice out of the custom dice pouch that was made for me.
That's a crazy in real life filter you got going on there, Wash.
You like that?
That's called an in-camera effect.
It's called a lens flare.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a flashlight. Is that a UV light?
Yeah, I use it for curing my resin.
Cleo, you're
I'm
a
so
UV
sorry that you
light.
have resin and it needs to be cured.
Yeah, how long has your resin been sick?
They're not sorry that they've had me.
Yeah, how long has your resin been sick?
I wish I could cast Cure in real life.
Many a moons.
I played with UV resin for the first time this week as well. Oh my gosh, it was so fun.
I
When you feel like you're not getting a lot of kills in Modern Warfare, but you were like carrying the team by picking people up, and it'd be like UV resin.
That's so stupid.
I love Jake's honesty.
It was the build-up for me.
When you really break Cleo, she just exits the frame. Just like leaves one side of it. It's like when someone exits the chat, Cleo has left the frame. She just like topples.
I was like, I'm proud of myself. I came up with a funny. And then you're like, damn, that's stupid.
And then you got roasted.
And then I was like, you're not wrong.
Oh, we got a TSAV quote from TSAV. Look at the fates aligning.
Yeah, how did that work out? This is, you rigged that.
Just take my shoes or something, man.
Hey, that was a very, very traumatic situation for Savage.
I think Savage has only been with this group in traumatic situations.
Absolutely. This
Are
is like the
there
most
any
wild adventure he's ever had in
ones?
his life. Like, he's done his, you know, his assassinations here and there and some of his dirty work, but like this man literally broke an avatar and fought like one of their like high-ranked soldiers.
As you do. Am I
Like,
right?
rode a dragon. Like,
I thought
never
that-
seen a dragon in his life, and he got to ride one.
I thought that like meeting and spending time with avatars was like really cool and elite and impressive until the last few episodes, and now I'm entirely unimpressed.
Just because of Kay.
Everyone's like,
Yes.
can we get rid of these avatars already? Like, can they just go do the thing?
He needs them.
Stop talking to us.
I'm ready to put them aside and go back to baking.
If Kay was like a
I like
real
Lerida.
dude, he
She's-
would definitely live in his mother's basement.
Got him.
Still living in his mom's airship at 42.
Oh.
How many minutes do we have, Josh? I'm thinking about grabbing a snack.
6.
Ooh.
Maybe I should order more dinner.
Order food right now so that it can arrive like in the middle of the session.
Mid-session during a massive battle.
If it does, whatever you order is going to topple out of the sky onto Fox and deal a lot of damage.
Oh.
Okay, but what if I order like something? I don't know, potions of cure. I'll order on Etsy. Be like, it needs to be delivered right
If you can
now.
order something off of Etsy and have it show up during this game session, I'll give it to you. I think you've earned it at that point. You put the money and the hard work and the logistical planning in that you deserve. You deserve to get the item in game.
Like, quick, I gotta message somebody right now on Craigslist. Must be able to
Facebook
deliver it to my
Marketplace.
house. Yeah, right now.
Healing potions on Facebook Marketplace.
I don't know what this lean is.
It's just like a
and
Tide
what it-
Pod dissolved into a
It's
little mason
D&D,
jar.
But
They say it's a healing potion, though.
they say it's a healing potion.
This will heal me.
Healing me.
All right. We now have a new emoji based on the screenshot that Wash took.
Oh, Wash.
I didn't know Wash took one too.
Let me.
What?
Or maybe that was Josh. Maybe it was Josh. Sorry, Josh took the
Oh,
screenshot.
just the warpy Cleo.
Or maybe no, it was Wash. But yeah,
That
it's
was
warpy.
Wash.
It's warpy.
That is disturbing.
I have to
I
see
feel like
it
if you can
with my own
I need to
eye.
do like the vibrate, like the I'm ready, like the
Oh,
GIF
yeah.
where it's like it's just like brrrr.
I'm ready.
That'd be good on that one.
There's so many of us tonight.
Yeah.
That's a great.
Bruh.
Take that, Critical Role.
Yeah. Man, I'm cold. Anybody else cold?
No.
Ooh,
Yes.
okay.
It's a very pleasant temperature in the room that I'm in.
Oh,
Golly,
golly.
just put Lupin
Isn't
on
it
top
65 degrees where you are?
Yeah, it was like, I think it got up to 70 here today, actually.
Whoa. A
Yeah.
whole
Very
70?
nice. And it shouldn't. It's February in
It's
Nebraska.
December, he said, outing himself as having been in cryo sleep for the past month and a half. You've been speaking to JakeBot. Jake GPT.
Jake GPT. Most people don't know about the cheese.
Yep.
I'm currently leveling up, and
Following in the
yeah.
time-honored traditional footsteps of Cleo. Working on your character
I mean, it's
right
only
now.
three
I
things.
mean,
I had to
like,
change,
what? We're
so
like level 10 now, right?
it only gave me three things to like add on.
No, we're
so-
level 20, right, Josh?
Nope.
Yeah, we're level 20.
Nope.
Let me go ahead and level up real quick.
Your face is level 20.
Yeah, it is.
Whoa. Where?
It can cast Wish.
Is it not in this one? Is it in this one?
Cleo's still looking for her character sheet. Did you delete your character
Oh.
sheet? You had that face.
I was looking at downloads, not not documents. I was like, where'd it go?
It starts with the
There
DO.
is no fox.
We're like
No
what,
fox
level
given.
11, right?
Go up to
13.
Yeah, you should be level 13.
Were you playing? Well, I guess it hasn't mattered for like the last 2 sessions, but
Well, no, there's still been skill
might be.
checks being rolled.
that's true.
You might be a level 11 rogue and a level 2 bard. Maybe that's what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Of all the people in the party
Okay.
to multi-class.
Yeah, I know, right? What Cleo needed was more mechanical things to keep track of.
I'm struggling.
Do you make sure to roll the correct hit dice when you take a short rest?
Yeah, they're the same.
Just making a note for myself when I edit this episode to take that clip of Cleo going, I'm struggling, and put it in our soundboard. And then that same disappointed laugh, that's also going to go in there. I need you to boost our servers so I can put more Cleo quotes on our soundboard.
Hold on. I haven't done that in a while. I think I can.
I don't have any boosts.
Let me.
I think we're just
Let me
one
do
away
it.
from the next level.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Jake to the
Oh,
rescue.
one more day.
Jake's just got to inspect the elevator in the Discord server.
Oh, what? What? Huh? What?
Huh? What?
What?
Huh?
Don't take that out of context.
Wait, what? Am I out of? Wait, I get a discount. Server boosts are no longer included. I just get a discount.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
is that a
Obama.
You are no
thing?
longer worthy.
Oh, that's terrible.
Wow. Discord's
My
Discord's
nitro is
cutting all
worth
the
less now than it used to be.
Nitro is worth
You
less.
heard it here.
That's
Nitro's worth less.
crazy. Well, that's disappointing. So I would boost it if I had free boosts, but they're just discounted now.
No. Then we're not worth a discount to you.
I'm sorry. I don't know if $3.50 a month is worth it to me right now.
You
the
know,
Discord server.
if you divide that across all of us, that's only like 70 cents per
So-
player.
Right now, we have no boosts, probably because that changed.
Yeah.
It would take 2 to go to level 1.
Lame.
Lame.
You know what's not lame?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and
Lame
Dragons.
miserable.
OMG.
Hitting with the soundboard?
Oh, we hit him with the soundboard.
I hit him with the soundboard.
Why is the
You've spent a month at the wreckage of Kay's airship at the bottom of, well, not the bottom, the middle of one of the pillars of Eternal Vigil. You sent a message before you parachuted down here, and you were really hoping that your team heard it, but you don't know where they were in the world. You didn't get any response back. It was sort of a magical Hail Mary, so to speak. And it was Kay who helped with it. So like that's as reliable as anything Kay says really is. And, a month has gone by. Talk to me about what that month has done to your character emotionally, Alan.
Alan is now just torn up about whether it is smarter to stay here and hold out hope or whether it's faster to go somewhere, parachute again and see where they land and try to find anything from there. And this like indecision or, wondering back and forth about like what would be the smarter play is just like keeping him kind of alone in his thoughts. He's been a lot quieter the last couple days, really debating about this in his head.
Yeah, surviving on nothing but the apples that Kay packed and the apple cats that Kay packed as the only two the food type supplies you have remaining. I don't know what you've been doing for water for a month. I guess catching rain and,
We had supplies for 6 months for a year.
Yeah, but then you parachuted off the tower instead of walking down. So you can only carry so much. Your inventories are all full of books I didn't make you calculate the weight of. Let's not be too hasty here. Maybe you found some water stored on the wreckage of Kay's airship, and that's what's been keeping you going. But it's been a month. I imagine that there's been some kind of something happening between Fox and Kay, some kind of bickering or, some conversation loop that you're stuck in. What do you think that is, Cleo?
I think Fox has kept his distance when he can with Kay, because one of the first things that happened throughout the first week was just them going back and forth over, balancing the responsibilities of an avatar and still embodying that, value and the vibes, right?
Okay.
And it feels like an argument that Fox just is not seeming to win, and that Kay's just not willing to back down on. Mostly about things that Fox believes Kay should have done within the last, 3 years.
I see.
But Fox doesn't push it too hard once it gets past a certain point. So it's just been this back and forth about it until, eventually somebody interrupts or Fox walks away.
Yeah.
Only for them to repeat it, 24 hours later.
Got it. Jeb, what you been up to for a month? How's Jeb feeling?
A little stressed. I think the first week, or maybe the first couple days, Jeb's focus was like defense. Hey, we're in a dangerous area. We're exposed. Let's set up a shelter, and the guys are coming soon. And then a week goes by, and it's as fortified as it's gonna get. And the night watches are not as vigilant because it's been a week already, and the second week goes by, and he's trying to read Grandpa's book. He's trying to study, but Kay and Fox are bickering in the background. And I think by the end of the month, he's maybe spent the last week, maybe the last 2 weeks, trying to fix the airship, trying to do something with it. Doesn't even know what's available there.
Sure.
But is just focused on that because this isn't working out. They could travel a long distance in the airship in a month.
That's true. What about you, Zoth? How's the month of waiting been for Zothkug?
I think he's sort of longing for the friendship that he remembers between him and Fox. And he's sort of been reflecting on that in their last conversation and not wanting to push it, giving Fox the space that Fox wants, but still longing for that reconnection.
What does that do to his like days? You know, like how is he behaving, or what has he been doing to keep himself busy, or try and take his mind off of it, or whatever?
I mean, he'd lend a hand in any activity that anyone else would need assistance with. So maybe he helps Jeb set up defenses for like the first week.
He can be Jeb's guy who can reach stuff.
Yeah. Maybe he chimes in every now and again, tries to mediate between Fox and Kay.
Gotcha. And so it's in, pretty dismal attitudes that you wake up on what I guess we'll call the 31st day of your time stuck here at the base of the pillar. It's been a full 7 months since you left, to climb up here. So you left in the spring. It's now, approaching winter, late fall. The breeze is about the same as that spring breeze, except it's carrying with it the chill that forebodes what's coming next. You wake up, the light that filters through the sort of makeshift walls and fortifications you've put around, very dimly illuminating the group. Nobody really speaks to each other. There's no fire to douse or rekindle. You all kind of stretch on your own. You start to get up on your own. Fox, it is your acute, roguish senses that first detect a sound on the air. A hum, if you will. A little bit of a kind of and as you go to the front of your little cave area, you kind of step around the walls that Jeb has put up, and you look out into the distance, standing there with nothing but the void before you, the mists swirling beneath a couple miles lower. You see the Cugboat, the SS Happy Orc, zooming towards you. Bruiser at the helm, his teeny little winged badger face, looking back at you and kind of waving through the glassine lens that serves as a cockpit. And the hope of Clara's cooking instead of apples and apple cats arriving on the wind as the Cugboat is approaching. What do you do, Fox?
Immediately call out to everyone else. Oh, thank God they're here. They heard us.
Alan will turn around.
Wave of relief.
Are you serious?
I mean, look, they're right there.
I am extremely thankful that we did not have to use those parachutes again.
Hey man, that
Wow.
would have been so much fun though.
It would have been, once again, extremely dangerous.
But I am happy to see our ship.
This is
Hey,
okay.
I'm just
this is
happy
good.
we're all right. Everybody, pack up. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm
This is good.
packed. I am ready to go.
Fox just rolls up his bedroll, throws like any random knickknacks he had laying out onto it, pops it on his back. All right, let's go ahead and clear any debris we have in the way we were using as a shield here. And
Yes, yep. And Alan will start moving away the kind of makeshift battlements we kind
Sure.
of created.
The Cugboat, expertly flown by Bruiser. It's clear skies, easy conditions. He is able to navigate his way over to you and kind of pull up alongside. There is still, it's about a 5-foot jump to get off of where you are and onto the Cugboat, but you all make it pretty easily. You're not pressed for time or anything. Even Kay can make that jump. In fact, maybe Bruiser is conscious enough that he swings it around so that the balcony that protrudes off the back of the Cugboat on the the lower deck, that balcony that sticks out, maybe he just backs up until that balcony is literally like a bridge, where it's kind of laying on the ground, and so you all walk in through the rear balcony, through like the main stairs with the nice plush carpets and everything, and you find yourself back on board the Cugboat. Where awaiting you are the various members of Four Guys Ventures and Vibes. Yeah, the Mike in it is the first one to meet you. He's got his little necktie on and everything. He walks up to shake your hands, and he looks up at Zothkug, and he kind of freezes.
Yeah.
Hey man.
It's hard to. Yes, I mean, I'll let him Say
It's
it.
been a long time.
You were burnt,
Yes,
but you are here.
correct.
Did they plant another you?
No,
Are you a seedling creature?
No, I'm not. I met a strange entity in the ethereal plane, the beyond realm, if you will, and that entity built a body and brought us back here.
Oh. Yeah, seems like he probably had some, prepared thing for like, oh, here's the reports on where we've been and all this time, whatever. And like, it's all like gone from his mind. He's just kind of, he's still, his little hand like held up kind of towards Fox for a handshake. Just like, stuck there kind of holding his hand up. Oh, from behind, the Myconid, Laredith pokes her head around the corner and goes, all of you are back. More than left are back. Hi, Kay. And Kay's like, hey. She's like, have you been bothering them since they found you? Yeah, pretty much. Well, that tracks. And who are you? She points over at Zothkug. I can't remember. Did she meet Zoth, or had he died before you? I think he died before you got Laredith, right?
No, I think he died.
I
Died
think-
after
No,
because
Dew
we
is-
made
Laredith
it.
helped with
Yeah, you're right.
trying to
Yeah.
recover Zoth,
You're
I
right.
believe.
Yeah.
Dew is the arc that came after that. Hello,
Yeah.
Zothkug. Welcome back. I am pleased
Thanks.
to see you back, though your story sounds a little ominous to me, but that is a matter for future study. And you are kind of whisked back on board the Cugboat as, the various crew members come to say hello to you, whatever. Ronald, the intern, the manager, the intern, runs up to you very excitedly, his curly hair kind of bouncing. He goes, "We found them. We found Duffin, and I have procured for you the ruby dust." And he holds out his hand, and there's a little pouch in it with exactly as much. I don't remember how much you asked for, but exactly as much
Yep.
ruby dust as you sent him to get from Duffin. And so
Amazing.
he holds out the little pouch to you. "It took us a very long time, and I had to consult the maps several times." And behind him, you hear Garlo go, "I took over, and and I just told Bruiser where to go, and then we found him. But that's cool. You can have the credit. He totally did it." And then he like turns around and walks off to go in another direction. Beyond that, you see FP62. Wash, I actually need your input here. Which of the wide variety of foods that FP has been trying as his like first experience of his life things, which of those has he latched onto that is like now his favorite thing?
100% is meatloaf.
Meatloaf. So he's got like just a huge plate of meatloaf like in his hand at all times, and FP is also significantly bigger than you
he's-
recall him being. He's like put on some pounds.
He's doing the thing where he's taking the leftover meatloaf and making sandwiches out of it, and so he's always got like a leftover meatloaf sandwich.
Got
with
it.
him.
Is it like the single slice of bread like rolled like a taco shell kind of?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So FP is like, you just glimpse him in the distance with the meatloaf rolled up in a taco shell. And beyond him is Gunner, who's like, you could try eating anything else. Like we've got other options in the kit. You don't have to eat leftovers. Like we have food
I've
now.
got a stew cooking right
Yeah,
now.
after we saw-
I'm stirring it right now.
Gunner's stirring something in the kitchen. Beyond him, Clara is organizing just racks and racks of spices. You can tell that ruby dust is not the only thing that was purchased from Duffin when the Cugboat came across him. And I think it probably falls on you to initiate because is so stunned by Zoth coming back. But at some point, you're going to wind up having a conversation about where the boat should go next and how everything went and whatnot. Who do you think is the first to be like, okay, we have to talk about next steps. Like we got to do stuff because it's definitely not Kay.
It's Owlin, I would assume, but
Okay.
So Aquid would first say, I see the company has grown quite a bit.
Yes, we have made
yes.
several hires and even a demotion. And you see off in the distance, Joffrey is like, mopping or something. He's like,
You'll have to tell me about that later. Man, I need to catch up on so much else.
I hate to butt in, but Yeah, we've been gone for a while. We would love to be updated on what has been happening, and also we need to start heading towards wherever it is we need to go for the cataclysm. Well, we do know actually
That
where we
would
need to go.
be Kavor's lair in the
Yes.
Cavorite Mountains, because she's sort of guarding the spot. So like, it's not her lair, but her lair will get us there. So you
Yes.
got to go through Kavor. Kavor and I, we go way back. I mean, I'm only like a couple hundred years old. I'm not, and Garlo's like, Kavor and I go way back. Being
Alan
dragons.
like nods at Garlo like, yes, I know that you know what's up, but we can pretend like this guy also knows what's up.
So I'm going to skip through this conversation a little bit because it will be long and mostly recapping things. You've got a lot to explain to Ya and where you need to go. On the other side of things, Ya explains to you that the Cugboat, following orders, set off first to find Duffin, which is an enterprise that took them a long time, several months, just to track down Duffin. Lots of people have seen Duffin, but nobody knows exactly where he is at any point in time. And they did try to offer him a ride and get him to come with them, but Duffin, who they actually found him in what was formerly Udril, and he said, no, he's got places to go, people to see. He heard there were some refugees that he thinks might need supplies. He's going to go that way. So Duffin, wandered off to continue on his journey, but was able to make all the important sales. And so you got your ruby dust. Clara was able to get her spices, all the good things. And then with a little bit of time, because they knew that you were going to be away for a year, they decided to basically just go around and start gathering intelligence. So Bruiser took them up to a high altitude, and the lookouts, led by Mockery, began just trying to see how much they could learn, and how close can they get to different spots, and where are the concentrations of forces the highest, and all that sort of thing. And so there are some reports from the lookout side of things and from Mockery that probably Mockery would deliver to you in person as far as how that stuff is going. And so Mockery, well, first we had to visit with the western side of Ureda because it has been a long time since we went there. And she's telling you about Thraxenhau's domain, which the mountain has been thawed. And so Thraxenhau's lair up at the top of it has been basically exposed. And, the mountain is greenery now near the bottom. And the forest that served as kind of a natural barrier has kind of grown out and become more of a lush ecosystem, which to the lookouts implies that it is no longer influenced by the magic of an ice dragon. That's not a sign that the ice dragon is dead necessarily, but it is a sign that there's no lair there belonging to an ice dragon. So we don't know where Thraxenhau went, but he's not there. They also have determined that although most of the major cities in the world are occupied, essentially, they all have some presence of the Aboleth's forces, whether that's represented by the Bright World Company or whether that's actual army, the Hishalan Tieflings that are in Tumbleweb. Most of the places in the world don't seem to mind. And the presence that they have created or established there is actually a fairly peaceful coexistence where they're offering protection to the town and the town accepts. So it's it's a new dangerous world and you might need help protecting yourselves or innovating or whatever. And so that's kind of the key exchange. And there's also been sort of a new religion is not maybe the right word, but a new guild or lifestyle or something like that has been popping up, but without being able to go into the cities or towns, which decided was too dangerous. They haven't been able to learn too much about it, just that there is some kind of new faith. And in fact, they're seeing new shrines and things being built right on top of where the ones that got destroyed were. Although they are not shrines to the old pantheon. So we don't know much about them other than that. There's also the Grey Watch has been kind of branching out from Tumbleweb, using those tunnels that extend, if you recall, pretty much the whole way to the Cavorite Mountains and a little bit past. The Grey Watch have been using those tunnels to help people who do want to leave escape their cities and towns. And there are some people who want to leave because the other thing the Cugboat has been doing is pamphlet drops. Marcy has been working around the clock on sort of a counter narrative, and the Cugboat has been kind of dispensing that as it goes around. So those are some of the details of the world at large and what's happening. The conflict in Gaim in particular is an interesting one because it ended like the day after you left, because all the forces left. The lookouts theorized that means that they were looking for you, and a spy on the inside somehow tipped them off that you were there. Probably because you had the Rod of Seven Parts. They tried to breach the city to come get it. You escaped, and they were like, well, there's no point in continuing a siege when we don't want to destroy the city. And so Gaim is actually like doing pretty well.
Interesting.
As that kind of thing
We
goes.
made a good call on that one.
The monks of the Silver Sky have helped the refugees and residents in Gaim to start to build outside of the cavern. And so the mountains where, their reservoirs and things are above Gaim, now there are some little like mountain settlements and stuff up there as well. At the same time, there have been strange things happening in central Urida. And these are the ones that are kind of being talked about as you're getting really close to your sort of drop-off zone. Explains to you that it's too dangerous to fly the airship over the Cavorite Mountains because there's such a concentration of like Bright World Company airships and other air forces and things like that. Essentially, the skies belong to the Bright World Company. While they don't have any like ground army forces or anything like that, the Bright World Company, which has been fully acquired by the Summit Banking Guild, so in essence, they're the same thing now. The Bright World Company has taken over the skies with a number of like patrol ships and things like that, and they've been innovating on the model. So they're not all airships like the Cugboat is. They now have much smaller, more nimble ones that operate with like a single wing that spins, basically. And so they're using those to navigate very quickly and to get into places that the bigger airships could not. They've also seen on the ground in that area, there have been some really strange monsters emerging that when they're rarer to see comparatively, like, you would expect to see like random beasts who live in the woods or whatever. Compared to those, these are pretty rare, but they're huge and they're like a big problem wherever they go. And in fact, the spot where they're going to drop you off is right near a village that was recently ravaged by one of them called Featherbrook. Explains to you, now it's too dangerous for us to go fly over the mountains, but there is someone who has been escorting refugees from the southern end of the Cavorite Mountains to the northern end. He's Savage Tempest, who is a hitman who you've encountered once. Has been basically, I think the job is being financed by the Grey Watch, but he waits around at the southern end of the mountains for people to show up. So they're going to drop you off there. And Randy has taken Alan's parachutes and has kind of spread, recreated the design and whatever. So you can just drop right off of the Cugboat and head down there under the cover of darkness to meet up with him. And that is basically the plan and what's going to happen. Is there anything that you all would want to do before you're dropped in? And also, are you bringing the avatars with you, or are you going by yourself?
That's a good
I don't
question.
I don't see a need to bring the avatars with us down here to check this place out. Unless we think that the Cugboat isn't safe for some reason.
I think
those
the
little scouts have
Cugboat
been around.
would be safer.
The question is, are you going to be able to get the Cugboat to where the consecrated land is going to be? Because if it's in the Cavorite Mountains, which it seems like that's where it will be, then it will be difficult the Cugboat could probably zoom in and zoom out again to do like a drop off, but it might be risky to just try and fly them in there, slowly and casually, or for the boat to stay and provide support.
I definitely think they should probably stay on the boat and we go ahead.
How will we communicate with them as to when it's time to quickly fly in, drop off, and fly out?
We've been thinking about that. Randy's in the room. He's all excited. He's got another box of one of his toys to show off. Ooh. Take a look at these. And he opens up the box, and there's a number of small handgun-sized items in there He says they're flare guns, but they're not like normal flare guns. They only show up in a certain spectrum of light. So if you don't know to look for them, you won't see anything. And he takes one and fires it out the window, and you see nothing happen. And then he says, but take a look up here. And he leads you up on top of the nest where the lookouts have installed a glass barrier that is like along the fence. You know, there's like the railing with the little posts at the top of the nest. They've put a glass barrier there that filters to that wavelength. And so you can now, looking through that way out in the distance, you can see the little flare. He goes, they're bright enough that we can see them from miles away. So as long as we're in the general vicinity, we'll be able to see it from anywhere. And if it's nighttime, we've had successful tests at 60 miles away.
Oh, well, that will be perfect. And also something before we go, Alan will make sure to give Laredith the adamantine and mithril and any other little materials he picked up to help.
Oh, this is exceptional. This will help me miniaturize the design in ways that could not have been achieved with the random smorgasbord of materials we began with. Thank you very much for finding these.
Of course.
And she's already organizing. And
do you estimate that the new design will be ready by the time we need a flare?
I believe it can be. We will have to do some construction on site. You understand, miniaturizing this machine does not mean making it handheld. We will need to, airdrop in pieces and put them together on the location. But I believe that we can make this something achievable.
Okay, perfect.
Excellent.
Well, then in that case, I think we will go in alone and use one of these flares once it's time.
Anything else from the others of you? Go ahead. Sorry.
Is there? I mean, it's going to be a one-way ticket for the avatars, right? What if we have any other emergency we need to signal? Should we maybe set up a coded system? Shoot one flare meaning this, two for that. These flares only have one color because you have it limited to a singular spectrum of light. But I think having more than just signal here and they bring the avatars when it could mean that, there's actually an emergency. What about this? How many of these do we have?
I've got 5.
Are they all single shot?
Yes. And I can make more, but we have 5 right now on hand.
So I know a little something about packing shells. Can I examine one of these shells, DM?
Sure.
And see if I can determine a way to reconfigure so that when it explodes, it's like up and down instead of sideways.
Like a vertical line, basically?
But like more of like a vertical shape.
Sure. Roll Arcana.
I'm good at that. Oh, guys, I only rolled a 16.
Oh, only.
Yeah, so that's 30.
Unfortunately, these are not like magical in nature. They're made from like normal materials. So when they fire, it's actually like, it's more like a tracer, like it draws a line as it moves rather than being like an explosion or a firework that pops. It's like it leaves a little trail behind it that kind of glows in the color that you want, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if that changes what you would want to do with them or how you'd modify them.
Perhaps you could modify one to follow a specific path. Like, is there a way to modify one where if after it fires, it could spiral rather than shoot straight?
Oh, I see. You're trying to make them do something different so that you can say the one that does this is one thing and the one that does this is the other thing. You could make them detonate. So right now they don't detonate. They're slow burns. So what you could do is you could have them go up to a certain height and detonate, and the line would have a really clear stop to it, unlike the normal ones. And that would give you a second look. So that would at least be two
Okay.
options.
Yeah, we could do that. So we could say, well, the modified ones. All right. So like a shortstop means, and a long line is like
Like it's time.
on yeah, like on plan or okay.
And on plan okay means bring the avatars. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. In this instance, we're gonna get there, and we're going to clear the area, right? Like we're going to make sure that everything is all safe and ready to set up and whatnot. And when we give the all clear, that's a long line, right? And then they can bring the avatars. But if for some reason we decide we need to pull the ripcord, like, do we want our emergency everybody here now, like on all hands on deck, we need you, or is it emergency get out of Dodge?
I think the emergency is get out of Dodge. Versus proceed as planned is bring the avatars. And I personally trust the crew to leave it up to their discretion as to whether once they leave the avatars they need to leave right away, or whether they want to stay and try to provide air support. I know that it is extremely dangerous to do so, but I trust that if there is a situation where the crew needs to make a decision, they will make whatever the right one is.
So is a shortstop like it's dangerous here, don't come?
I thought a shortstop
trying to
meant it's time to evacuate, get us out of here.
Oh, get us out of here. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yep. So
Cool.
So long lines all clear. Shortstop is get us out of here. All right. Sound good?
Yep. That'll work. And Randy is able to make the projectiles that you demonstrate for him. So you have five flare guns, but each of them can fire one or the other. So you get 5 shots, and you just have to decide what the 5 shots will be. Trevor has a hand up. What's up, Trevor?
Unrelated to this conversation, in the journey it takes to go from the towers to the mountains.
Yeah.
Goth would have debriefed, I guess, the other avatars about his situation, trying to gain insight if they have anything more to offer about the suspicious entity.
As soon as you say Demogorgon, all of them are like, no, that's no good. Like that's not going to be good. And the general consensus is that the things are bad, and if he made your body, there probably is some kind of connection between him and you, but it's not going to be like a scrying type thing because it wouldn't work right now. It would be more like your DNA would match kind of a thing. It wouldn't be like not like a connection that he would be using to track you or something like that. If that makes sense.
Born to Demigorgon.
You would be more likely to fail like a magic circle that was like a cast of Sanctuary or something, right? That's the kind of thing that like might be an issue for you. But it's not, they don't think that he's like looking through your eye. It's not like a Voldemort and Harry thing where he's like in your head.
Okay.
So
Or is he?
as far as the avatars
are in on
believe, it is not that way. They also were like, yeah, so that guy's going to be really hard to kill. So, that may be a problem that is beyond you. Like maybe just focus on saving the world this way. And maybe the next generation of heroes needs to take him on. We don't know. Or, maybe you become powerful enough, but right now, it would not be advisable for, you, even with your entire company supporting you, to go and, challenge that guy wherever he is and whatever he wants.
I wasn't planning on. I just wanted more info because I had no idea who he was or what he was about, and then Jeb scared me with the demon and Demigorgon, and I just
As it
wanted
should
more
be.
info.
Yeah, it's scary stuff, man. Look, dude, it's all about your vibe. If you just maintain a chill vibe, then you got nothing to worry about.
That's true, man. I always appreciate
Just be like
talking
chill
to
and
you.
stuff.
Yeah.
Don't harsh anybody else's vibe. Don't let anybody else harsh your vibe. Okay, just remember the 6 tenets.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Anything else before we move on?
I don't think so. For
Any
Alan, at least.
any word on the safer truck?
No, it is somewhere near Geim, wherever you hit it before, as far as everyone knows. But like, they've had no reason to go down and get it, so it hasn't been visited or explored or anything like that.
Jeb holds up the little remote and clicks it. Just
Just to
he
see.
hopes. Yeah, for old time's sake.
Okay,
For old time's sake.
cool. As far as you know, nothing has happened.
Wait. Is this like
you wanna
much
press it?
longer after, or is this like shortly after we just got picked up?
Cleo's like, did you just drive our truck into the water?
No, like we're already here.
Oh,
Fine.
okay. You're right.
Yeah.
Just making a note that you did that. I'll decide what happens after the session. It certainly
Single
wouldn't affect
reach
you
that
tonight.
far?
Okay.
You know, it has water walk and it has water breathing.
It does when
so-
someone's in there to activate the cipher.
I was gonna say, I think it'd be awesome if it somehow could automatically detect those things and activate when needed.
The cipher truck, or not the cipher truck, the Cug boat is now approaching your final destination, so to speak. And the way that this is happening is it's been arranged that you'll leave in the very early morning so that you can drop under the cover of darkness, but then you have daylight to help you navigate and, you know, link up with TSAV when it's probably not so dangerous. And then hopefully once you get into the mountains where you like need help being escorted, you can then use the cover of night. So that's the sort of arrangement that's leading into things, as each of you is handed a parachute from Randy, who has very
this again.
thoroughly
Let's
recreated,
go.
and also a harness that will anchor to the big iron eyelets on the top of the Cug boat so that you can rappel down the side onto the stabilizing fins, and then you'll cut the cord to jump off the fin to parachute in. And so all of you are there, getting ready to drop down. It is dark outside, wind whipping past you, Jeb's duster coat flaring, out behind him. You're all kind of crouched down on the fins and getting ready to make your jump. Let's get an athletics or acrobatics check, depending on what you're trained in from each of you. And if you're trained in neither, that'll be a strength check.
Before we do that,
Yeah.
Jeb is going to learn from the last time we used these things, and he's going to cast Enhance Ability on who needs it.
I'm good.
I think
But
Zoth needs
okay.
it. Zoth is
Zoth
raising her
probably
hand.
Might need it.
Zoth and Jeb.
All right. And that's strength you're enhancing?
And you want strength or dex, Zoth?
It's advantage.
Yeah.
Strength.
All right. Well, I'll take strength too then. All right, we both get advantage on that.
All right. As the Cug boat begins breaking through the cloud cover and you can see the ground whipping past, you hear the countdown coming from Bruiser through all of your little earrings of message that connect you back to the Cug boat. In fact, it's not Bruiser. Bruiser's got to focus on flying. It's Clara who's going to count you off for your jump. So you hear Clara's voice kind of crackle to life in the little headsets that you're wearing.
Wait, what? Are we counting it down from 10 or is that too much? Should we count it down from 3? Should we count it
Just-
down? What are we
just do
using
5.
draconic or was this like in common?
No, this common. I think we all speak. I don't speak Draconic.
Konnichiwa.
Count it down from 2-2.
I speak Draconic.
I knew I liked the fuzzy one. All right, are you all ready?
Yes.
Come
Yes.
back in one piece,
Yes.
honey. 3, 2, 1, go.
Recording.
The cords that harness you back to the Cug boat are all snapped. The tension giving way, they all spring back up to the eyelets they're clamped into and slap onto the wooden deck of the Cug boat. At the same time, the 4 of you the four of you lean off of the stabilizing fins and just sort of walk off the boat. So the airship continues flying and you kind of walk off. You have that brief vertigo sensation, and then you are in free fall. Let's roll those checks. Your athletics, acrobatics, or strength.
14 or 13 for Zoth.
Okay.
16 for
19.
Alan. Oh,
Whoa. we all were
Watch what
like,
you
we're
get.
second.
19.
19, which for you is a crit. All of you are able to pull your chutes at just the right time. Tisav, Savage Tempest is standing at the base of the Cavorite Mountains, the southern Cavorite Mountains. He's gazing out at the morning. He knows that he's meeting the Four Guys crew here because arrangements have been made previously via a messenger, probably through Scale and Sons. And as you are standing there watching you kind of pick out the darker shape against the dark clouds. You know, you see their airship come down, you see the dark little figures on the fins, and then you see them jump backlit by the rising sun down towards you, doing their best to be stealthy. But Bruiser, or whoever I rolled for, did not account for the fact that the sun rises in the east. And so because they're jumping down to you here, the sun is literally silhouetting them towards Stainless. Their chutes all open, and you see the gliding begin, and they all come in pretty much in sync, like almost in formation, and they land.
we've done this before.
Just a little ways away from you in the trees. You know, it's maybe a 5-minute walk. Your ranger senses keeping you very stealthy and silent as you walk towards them. What are the four of you doing? Like, as you finished landing, you're somewhere in the tree line of this mountain. You know, how do you dismount, basically? Describe your cool hero landing or your fumble. Like, what, you know, just hit me with the exposition.
Alan is going to he's in his special ops mode. He never got to do a mission like this when he was in the military. He's got his rifle of ice knife up with him as he drops. He's looking around all very vigilantly, and when he lands he gets into a on one knee pose, scanning around, making sure everything's good.
Cool. Is he gonna cut the pack off, or is he gonna just let the parachute kind of drape over him?
He's gonna cut the pack off.
Cool.
Fox drops in right behind him, the poorly used bow drawn and ready. And as he hits the ground, he goes for a quick forward roll, letting go of the pack off his shoulders as he does so, and immediately just doing a quick 360 scan right next to Alan.
So Zav, as he's parachuting down and his parachute opens, he's just kind of enjoying the scenery, and he kind of forgets to steer. So he ends up flying into a tree and having the scene where you fall through a bunch of branches and then get stuck right above the ground. So he cuts the chute and drops.
Okay.
Jeb, when he sees Alan cut the chute, he's like, "Dang, I didn't even know I could do that." And so he's going to wait, come in a little bit behind them after they've all dropped down. And in a soft patch of dirt, he's going to cut the chute and nosedive down into the ground and start burrowing and go and start digging into the ground.
That's cool. So Savage, you arrive you witness all of this basically, and then a couple seconds later you arrive. None of them have spotted you just because your ranger ring is so good. So how do you break the silence?
Hopefully the silence is broken with a little. He's gonna take out of his mouth what he's puffing on, toss it in front of him, and step on it, and just say, "You guys know how to make one hell of an entrance."
And you know what that means? It means it's story time at the Wing Badger Tavern, and we will be right back.
Sinir,
After this
Grontos,
ad.
Kotix, Owara. Long ago, the four ancients created a world in harmony. Then, everything changed when the chat amped magic. Only Kelnor, master of good vibes, could stop them, but when the world needed him most, he vanished. 2 years have passed, and four adventurers have discovered a conspiracy, a company selling magic. And although their roleplay is great, they have a lot of XP to earn before they're ready to save anyone. But I believe they can save the world.
Welcome back to the Wing Badger Tavern, where friends tell stories. I'm joined by some of my friends. Introduce yourself, friends.
Oh my gosh, I'm one of Josh's friends. I'm Jake, and I play Alan Woodrear, the Azamar barbarian artificer that just tried to do his best cool, awesome military-style landing. Popcorn Trevor.
Oh, the order has changed, I see. I am Trevor. I play Zothog Hidbub, the revived orc cleric. I am also happy to say that I am one of Josh's friends.
Hello, I'm Cleo. I wasn't sure when I should jump in, and I obviously waited too long. But now I'm here playing Fox, the rogue bard changeling. And he tried his best to look just as cool as the person who landed just in front of him. And he hopes he looked
In
better.
a tutu.
That is an important point.
Hey, I'm Wash. I play Jebediah Peppermint, the gunfolk mole wizard who fires spit and spits fire. And apparently today's turn order is a Tetris piece. So I'm really excited about that.
Hello, and I am Will the Wisp, and whatever you're saying didn't matter to me, apparently. I'm Will the Wisp, and I play Clara Albuquerque, the fairy dragon and personal home chef of the Cug Boat. On to you.
What's happening,
And
guys?
I'm just kidding.
It's T-Sav. My name is T-Sav. I'm here playing Savage Tempest. I'm a Wood Elf Ranger. Finally happy to be back and hanging out with the guys. Hopefully one of them doesn't try to kill me this time around. So
Come on. It was like one
Challenge accepted.
time.
We're thrilled to have you,
God.
T-Stab. And I'm Josh, the Wing Badger Game Master. I play everybody else. And without further ado, on that note, let's get into tonight's Dungeons and Dragons adventure. Which means we need to take a look at the Cavorite Mountains, the southern Cavorite Mountains, where you've all just, that's funny, it replaced T-Sev with a second wash. Hang on, T-Sev, you're gone. T-Sev, that was a nice guest moment from T-Sev. Glad we could have him join us. Okay, there we go. There's T-Sev. Okay, the five of you are standing in the early morning, like grayish dawn light. You are at the base of the southern Cavorite Mountains. So the mountain kind of climbs up ahead of you. You are on the eastern side of the Cavorite Mountains. So Stainless would be to your west, and then very far to your east would be Gaim. And that is how things stand. So yeah, Savage told you that you know how to make an entrance. And then I guess you all paused for a beat, and now here we are.
It is extremely good to see you, Savage.
Did I ever apologize for the whole incident?
I think we're past that now.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Guys,
I'll
I think there's
officially
somebody
apologize.
up there with you. I think there's somebody up there with you guys. Be careful.
Yes,
Is that the little guy?
we were meeting Savage here, remember?
Yes.
Yes, that is Jeb. Jeb.
The footsteps are really light. It's probably somebody very sneaky.
Yes.
Be on
Yes.
your guard.
Jeb. Alan will like
just how
put
I
his
walk.
mouth down to the dirt. Jeb, it's Savage. We were meeting Savage here, remember?
Oh yeah, just footprints sound the same down here. So just curious. I'm gonna scout on ahead a little bit.
Well,
Okay.
it seems
You
you've,
really didn't want to talk to Savage that badly? All right.
seems you've kept yourself proactive and busy since the last time we've seen you.
Absolutely. Been out here in Aspish doing some work. If you know what I mean. I might have explained that to you last time.
Well, we did hear that they've been encountering some extremely dangerous large creatures here. I would assume you would have some encounters with them as well. What are they like?
We recently, there was a village, I believe it was called Featherbrook. It was attacked by one of these. I helped the village out a little bit. We ended up taking down the creature, but it was a short-lived victory after we found out this was happening all over, and we, of course, we couldn't help everybody, so we had to stay and defend this town.
The small village of Featherbrook is actually just slightly down the mountainside from where you are. You landed in the tree line, so you're still pretty low relative to the mountains, but on the ground, like at normal sea level or whatever, at the base of the mountains is the town of Featherbrook. And so, Savage can kind of point out there, and you can see, there's a smashed church tower, and the walls of the town have been, burnt to a crisp and all that. It's mostly rubble, but you can see that people have been rebuilding the residents. There's a sign that those of you who are most perceptive and have kind of the sharper eagle eyes can read, that's been handmade on like banner paper or whatever and rolled across one of the burnt town walls that just says Featherbrook thanks thick brick. Is just like kind of hand painted on the sign.
Wow, that's all right. Well, I mean, I guess try to catch you up. I mean, obviously you already know what we're trying to do ish, but I mean, we've gone all over the world since the last time we've seen each other. And by the way, I no longer just have a peg leg.
I was just about to notice there was a little bit of extra gleam coming from there.
Yeah, look at this. Fox pulls up his pant leg. Like, whoa. I got
Savage is gonna inch closer and like touch it a little bit, like kind of rub it to check its sharpness.
Oh yeah, no,
it's super sharp. Fox hardly ever uses it. It's like brand new, basically.
That blade shoots out, and it's great for combat, and it makes me. I've had to learn more of a martial fighting style than the sword fighting I was used to. But
interesting. Maybe I'll get lucky to see that on the actual enemy and not on myself.
Oh, I said I apologized. Okay?
I told you, I'm over it.
Also, just to give an example, I guess, of how much time has passed since we met you and then departed. We parted ways, Savage. Zothkug died and then was resurrected. So.
Oh, I mean, I die inside every day. Is that what you mean?
No, I mean in a quite literal sense.
Oh.
But yeah, we had a funeral and everything.
I missed it.
Savage is just gonna look Zoth up and down and just kind of hit him on the shoulder. Well, you still look good to me.
Thank you.
Yes, he's remarkably great, actually.
He's gonna sit back, just kind of dumbfounded, like, okay, that just happened.
Only takes a deal with the devil, evidently.
Wasn't the devil?
I said a devil.
That's a story I'm gonna need to hear around the campfire.
I think we'll have plenty of a chance to do that, but I would assume if we're heading up the mountains, that first stop would be through Featherbrook, and then onward from there.
If you need to grab anything, there's not much here, as you can see, but I'm sure I've made friends with the people here.
That's good. How many days would you estimate after Featherbrook it will take to get to Kavor's lair?
T-Sav, if they can match your pace, you're pretty sure you can get up there in about 2 days.
Yeah, I actually, because I leveled up, I also now have an advantage going through mountains. So that means anyone who's traveling with me up to 10 people has that same advantage.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure. That's what I read.
Sweet. Right. Your players are in charge of managing their characters' features, so I'll just take your word for it. That's cool. I'm excited that they get that.
That is a ranger feature. Well, in that case, we may as well. Well, I guess Jeb was scouting ahead, and we may want to wait for Jeb to.
Yeah, let's check in with Jeb for a second. So, Jeb, describe what you want to do. You said scouting ahead, but help me understand what that means. How far ahead and what kind of scouting?
So, partially, this is a little selfish. Jeb has been up in the stratosphere and is about as far away from the Earth as you can be for a very long time. And then has been in an airship for a very long. So it's like terra firma is quite comforting to him. So he's enjoying the humidity and the smell, and it just feels good to have some dirt on his fur.
So he's like, I'm going to scout ahead, but really he's just down there like kissing the ground, like I made it back.
Yeah,
natural habitat.
So he does go a little bit ahead. I think it's going to be towards town.
Towards Featherbrook?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just not too long. Maybe 10 minutes out, 10 minutes back. Enough for them to talk and maybe even start walking. Like, he knows that this is the destination. He's just gonna bop out ahead a little bit and see what he can hear, and might poke his nose up through a bush every once in a while.
Sure. Featherbrook is much as we left it in the one shot where we explored the town of Featherbrook. It's a town of mostly pleasant people. There's not much of a militia, or everybody is the militia, in the sense that like the actual town militia were all killed in their encounter with the horror. And so everyone just kind of banded together, but it has really created like a sense of unity in the town. Like, even their disreputable thugs are now contributing members of the village society. There's a guy named Jeremy who, like, everybody is very respectful and, shakes his hand and whatever when he comes by. They all seem to kind of trust him now. He's actually opened up a bar, like, in place of the tavern that was kind of burnt down. He hasn't put up a tavern. He's built just the bar section. So it's like outdoor open air. He's just built a bar and then pulled whatever could be saved from the cellar out and is like, this is the bar, open bar for everyone.
It's an open bar.
Yeah. And he literally, like, he's not charging people. He's just like, you're all helping in the rebuilding. I'll get everybody drinks, and keeping everybody hydrated. And, other than that, like, it's a town in disrepair, so there's not a lot of supplies or anything there, but the people are nice enough. Jeb, you regroup with the rest of your companions as you all stroll down the mountainside into Featherbrook. On the other end of it, like the northern, basically you're going north, so you're going to go north through Featherbrook, and then the path will take you back up into the mountains, like towards Stainless, as Savage is leading. So if there's anything specific you want to do there, you can. Otherwise, we can just pass on through.
Fox, I figure are we going to spend some time like at a single night because we got dropped in at dawn. So I'm assuming we're not going to spend like a day here.
Right. It's like morning right now.
Through.
Yeah. Like early morning.
Like 30 minutes maybe.
Just barely after sunset or sunrise.
I might stop by the bar just to see how people are doing, see if I can't hear any gossip of, anything. Nothing we probably haven't already heard. But also just trying to see like what people think of the four guys, and in the situation with that.
You come across three types of person as it relates to Four Guys Ventures and Vibes. There are people who've never heard of Four Guys Ventures and Vibes because it's a pretty small town. There are people who, on the newfangled Televibes, they've heard about how bad Four Guys Ventures and Vibes is, and they don't want nothing to do with that, that kind of nonsense. And then there are some people who got these cool pamphlets that got dropped to them that have this really interesting story, or that just like fluttered down from the sky one day, and it talks about this cool story where Four Guys Ventures and Vibes was actually founded to help resource people who were trying to bring magic back to the world, and that could be cool. And those people are the most interesting to talk to, because in addition to like that opinion where they've just read your pamphlet, you get a couple of them talking to you where they're like, yeah, it'd be really cool if Four Guys Ventures and Vibes kind of linked up with some of the new prophets, because they're also trying to bring magic back to the world, and so they could maybe work together. They could be like a cool team, you know what I'm saying? It'd be pretty cool if they all got together.
These new prophets, obviously in disguise. What are you talking about, new prophets?
Well, they tell people not to call them prophets, but I always say a prophet's a prophet, and that's why I went into business. But what I'm trying to say is that they've been setting up, their little, what do you call it? Their shrines over the old religious sites from the gods who abandoned our world, and they're like, we're not the gods, don't think of us as gods, but like we could maybe bring magic back, and we're trying to make a difference. And some of the stuff they do seems pretty magical, seems pretty cool. So I don't know, it just seems like there's a lot of overlap between the two little
do they have a pamphlet?
No, they don't have a pamphlet.
I try to read up, and they don't got a pamphlet. That means they don't really care to tell me about themselves now, do they?
Well, they're on the Televibes sometime. I'd show you, but all of our Televibes were destroyed in the attack.
I don't know about all that. Can't trust what Televibes tell you.
Why
Who
not?
knows who's controlling that?
Why not? It's televibe. It's just a real person on the other end. If it happens on the televibe, it's gotta be, if it happens on the televibe, it's gotta be real.
If I told you the sky was purple just because I'm real, do you think that's true?
No, but you're like kind of old and crotchety. The people on the televibe are very nice. Mr. Sav is very well dressed and seems very knowledgeable and respectable.
I'm just saying, you gotta keep your faculties about you and maybe think why they're telling you the things they are and work from there. And maybe that they might have motives to tell you the things they tell you. I'm just, I'm out there, What do I know? I just cut wood, chuck wood,
You're very strange, sir. I'm going to go back to helping rebuild my village now.
Fair enough.
That's a great disguise that Fox created. No one would think that that's Fox.
And a terrible stereotype that you just now created that the old people are resistant to the technology.
Just every time anyone says anything that I don't agree with, I'm going to be like, they got a pamphlet.
That needs to be a
You don't have a
soundboard.
pamphlet.
That does need to be a soundboard. Good flag. There's 3 of them in this game. We're out of soundboard slots in our Discord. Chat, join our Discord and boost it so we can put more Cleo quotes in our soundboard.
Yes, please.
Oh.
Okay, so you have that conversation.
I guess Fox then probably takes a moment to like change where he is and then reappear as Fox. And, goes ahead and tries to entertain the few people who are taking a break.
Sure.
Just to try to spread the good vibes.
Cool.
And plays on the sax a bit, like boom, 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 boom. Just
Cool.
trying to give them a little something to feel good about it, and
They're all vibing. They're doing that Winnie the Pooh gif that everyone posts whenever they hear a vibe, where they just like do the one step from the side to side.
Nice. One hop
And,
this time.
I hand them each a ball bearing.
They suddenly
Tell
feel
'em.
patronized.
Tell them that these are special and blessed, and they should cherish them. For if they hold on to them for a very long time, who knows? They might reach the value of $1.
What?
And that they should just never sell them and wait until they're worth a lot.
Alan starts like pulling Fox by the arm, like, we need to keep going, Fox. I'm not sure what you're doing here.
It's non-fungible bearings.
Alan continues to pull.
NFTs.
This is I told you that this concept just doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. There's no actual value as Alan continues to pull.
I'm telling you. The one guy told me it was a great idea and I believed him.
At least the Wingle digits have
That
some
wasn't
sort
me.
of practical use.
Yeah.
What does it
Gosh,
mean for
man, what are
something not to
people-
be fudgeable?
It means you can't fudge it. Have you tried the fudging it?
Can't fudge it. It's worth exactly what it is. You can't fudge the numbers on this one.
Savage, what are you? What's going through Savage's mind? As
Savage has already
Alan-
taken a seat and grabbed a drink and is just letting it happen.
Fox, man, I don't get it. Like, how are they going to increase in value?
All right, hear me out, okay? There are so many of these ball bearings in the world, right? But only so many. And so naturally, people are going to want the ball bearings. And so people will sell them for a higher value to get their hands on the ball bearings.
But
There's
Sold
only
on a marketplace called the Ball Chain.
but people are making ball bearings all the time.
How is this what we're doing?
Campaign
No, you
2,
don't
everybody.
understand.
Wiggle digits are out. NFBs are in.
I scratched a little letter on each ball bearing, so each one is unique, and you can't replicate that.
Wait, so you're the one, Alan's like, so that's what you've been spending your free time doing? Is that what you did?
Fox for a month in the Pillar of Eternal Vigil.
There's nothing to do for a month.
It was all those apple cats.
That's why all of my ball bearings have a little letter on them now?
I found a little book right before we left, and it told me about all this economics and the future of it. And I'm telling you, this is it.
I don't have music appropriate for this conversation.
Fox, man, I think you should leave the economics to the chief financial officer.
Hey, I'm just saying, people are going to want to start buying these ball bearings, and I am the supplier of said ball bearings.
I don't think they will.
Plus, you're giving them out for free right now.
Well,
anyways,
I have to give a few out for cheap, and then people realize their value, and then they want more.
If we're done giving a few,
they're gonna have to come up to you and like solve puzzles to get them.
Okay. Well, at least I'm gonna grab a drink, and then I'll be on my way.
Jeb is caught in a 1,000-yard stare, thinking way back to a briefcase in a previous time.
I rolled an intelligence check for the town, but they got a natural 20, so it doesn't catch on.
Darn!
If they rolled lower, there was a higher chance that NFBs were going to.
Yeah, there was a chance that they were going to be like, "Wow, these seem really valuable."
I'll just hit up the
had a
next town. It's
pamphlet.
fine.
Yeah.
Only you had a pamphlet to explain it.
That's what's missing.
Jeb, you're right. And as Fox finishes the last bit of his drink, he sets it down, pulls out a piece of charcoal and some parchment, and begins creating his first NFB pamphlet. On the way,
Hey,
of course,
you know,
he's walking.
Nice. I want a pony. Zoth, you want to help me go find a pony?
Sure, man.
Oh, like for traveling?
No, as a pet. Yeah, of course we're traveling.
What? We can't have a pet pony?
Well, I guess your shorter legs. That does make some sense. We've been flying a lot. Well, okay.
I'll help you out, Jeb.
Sweet.
Are you guys trying to find one or gonna buy one? Yeah.
Oh, hey, look, there's one over there that isn't being used. Maybe I could buy that. What do you think?
Yeah, man. Go for it.
Sweet. Excuse
I'll
me,
tell
sir.
you this pony, and how much would you like for? How much are you willing to trade?
Do you have info pamphlet on the pedigree of this pony?
In fact, I do. I've been waiting for this moment. Here you go. As you can see, this pony here has been bred by the finest ponies. Look at its hair. It glistens with the light, and you can tell because I brushed it. I keep it up. I maintain it every day. Now, of course,
You maintain it. I got it. Nice.
it won't stay that way unless you take care of it. You know, that's purely, once I sell it to you on you. But this pony could lift up to 100 pounds with ease. I've never tested more than that, to be fair.
Is it already shoed?
Can I use?
I can shoe it real quick. It would take about 30 minutes.
Is it house trained?
It's trained to avoid going into houses.
Okay.
Can I use animal handling to determine the quality of said pony?
You may.
I got a 19.
That crits in my presence.
It's a great pony. It's been bred by the finest ponies. It can lift and haul 100 pounds. It's been trained not to go into houses.
Would I be able?
It's even documented.
In like 30 minutes, it could be shoed.
Would I be able to ascertain a fair price for said pony?
Whatever Cleo asks for, it is a fair price.
Now, I've been hearing about them NFBs, and I've already been worried about them Wingles, so I won't take nothing but Gold will outlast all of this. You'll see. So if you got, I know gold's a lot more valuable these days in the sense that nobody really carries it on them. So if you got 10 pieces, I'll sell you the pony, or you can negotiate if you want.
I appreciate the encouragement. I don't have any gold on me. Could I trade you some Wingle digits for some gold so I can pay you in gold?
Yeah, that sounds about right. How much gold you need?
Yeah, about 10 gold. About 10 gold.
10 gold.
Yeah, here's 10 Wingle digits. Yeah.
Here we go. Good thing
Nice.
I sell and collect gold these days. You wouldn't have had it anyway.
Nice.
Here you go.
Yeah, it's pretty great. And then Jeb spins around. Here's your 10 gold.
Oh,
What's the,
you were able to procure that pretty quickly. Well, here
Yeah,
you go.
pretty on the
Pony
spot.
here.
I rolled an
What's the
intelligence check
pony's
on
name?
behalf of the town. The intelligence check was an 19, which crits in Shep's presence.
What's the pony's name?
The pony. His name is Rufflestump. Not Rufflestomp, Rufflestump. Yeah, you really gotta trail off at the end a little bit. Rufflestump.
Ruffle Stump?
No, Rufflestump.
Oh, Ruffle Stump.
It's soft. Yeah, it's just soft. Rufflestump.
Ruffle Stump. I feel like you're dropping
No,
letters
you're
off at the
pronouncing
end.
it. You're pronouncing
time
it
you
too
say it.
hard. It's a
Ruffles.
soft strip. It's
Rufflestump.
a Rufflestump. There you go. That's close enough. Don't worry. She'll find it out.
All right.
Anyway,
Rufflestump.
Okay.
if you give me 30 minutes, I'll go ahead and shoe her up for you.
Very good. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. That was well worth it. I see this off. That was amazing. This is like,
This is a great
who would have
town,
thought?
man.
I was just like, I could use a pony to keep my feet off the ground, and wow, that's probably the quickest we've ever shopped for anything ever.
Yeah, man. It
You've
was
all
the-
like
the easiest-
reactivated my bronchitis. I'm laughing so hard.
Yeah, man. I like this town. The vibes here are great. I think we should move our base and headquarters here.
Maybe. Ruffle Stump. Ruffle
Maybe,
Stump.
maybe Ruffles for short.
Yeah, because he's a short pony,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Yep.
Glad I
There we go.
could fill in for you there, DM.
That was great. Savage, you finish your drink. Somehow Jeb has acquired a pony.
I just trot up.
Oh, you trot,
Hey,
not the
everybody.
pony.
Yeah, I do.
Jeb trots. The
This is what
pony.
it's gonna be like.
Pony's only like 100
30
pounds, so
minutes.
he's still sitting at like what, under our eye level still?
This is what it's gonna be like. The pony takes one step for every 8 trots that Jeb does.
Hey, Savage. Is this trail we're going on? Is it pony friendly?
Not even a little bit.
If you say no, I'm gonna shoot you.
I,
This thing cost me 10 gold. You kidding me?
all I'll say is there's a nice stable here that'll keep the horse safe for a little bit. You might have to come back for it.
I mean, how tight of a pass? It's a pony. It can
Are
fit
you done?
all
Oh, you're
sorts
done
of-
with it. Awesome. Hey,
I
there's
don't-
Ruffle Stump. Hey, thank you.
Sorry
I'm
about
not
that.
sure how
Lead right
sneaky
there.
this pony will be.
That's a
If
very
we can trust
nice
this
shoot
pony to
you
be
have on there.
quiet.
Don't worry. Now, Rufflestump, he bends down and. Now, Rufflestump, these good fine folk here, two masters, and they want you to be quiet. So you gotta go, right, Rufflestump?
Yep.
Yeah, don't worry.
I'm
I'm
very
gonna.
good, quietly gonna say, yeah.
I gotta go. Jimmy, where am I? Who are you people?
I think I need to leave. I'm not sure this guy even owned this horse. So,
It's a nice pony you have there. You have a pamphlet
Yeah.
for that?
I do. It's documented.
Oh wow, this is impressive.
Bred by the
I gotta-
finest ponies.
I gotta go tell my wife. About
It's like
the pony I
noon
saw
by
at the
this
market
point.
today.
Savage is just staring off into an audience that doesn't exist.
All right. Now that we have secured a pony that may be extremely practical in the future,
Tisa, hang on.
Savage, let's go.
Tisav, put Savage in the confessional chair from like The Office or whatever. What is he saying to the camera right now as this is going on in the background?
It's like, just like at first I was really excited and my adrenaline was rushing when they came down. But what's going on and what's been happening in the last 30 minutes, I'm starting to think differently about the situation. I might try to find them a new lead. Oh no.
Okay, Savage, are you gonna try and get him moving?
Savage is definitely gonna at least like try and convince him that the horse is probably not the best idea to bring along. Just for
Just do it. Just try and convince him.
Yeah.
Oh man, Rufflestump, I'm loving you so much. You are a beautiful pony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate to break up this party, but that horse is so going to give us away. We have to pass through or pass around Stainless, which is heavily guarded because they're under a bunch of stressful pressure. They have apparently things and monsters going through their sewers, plus with all of the drama that I think you guys have caused. Their city is in a little bit of unrest at the moment, so they're high security. There is also another building that is in the center of the mountains with random security. I have yet to find out with all the passages I've made what this building is. But I am 99.9% sure this pony will get us caught.
But he's so Rufflestumpy. He's so small. I promise I'll keep him out of the way.
No.
Can the pony roll to convince me?
Yes.
I'll roll on behalf of
And
the
Jeb
pony.
tells him,
The pony rolled a natural 1.
No.
Chronal shift.
Chronal shift.
shift.
The pony's rolling again. Okay, wait. I have to look up the stat block for a pony. Oh, I don't. Why am I
Savage
rolling
comes
my
in,
own
makes
dice?
a
Let me roll
pony
this on
roll.
screen. Hang on. Here's the roll for the pony, and then I'll add the stat block for a pony.
Nat 20. Nat 20.
That's a 10 on the die. -4. It's a 6. Wait, what's the horse rolling again?
To convince Savage that it can be quiet.
Okay, so that's persuasion. That's a
Hush.
charisma. That's only a -2. That's an 8 on the die. Savage insight check.
All right. Hear me out.
Whoa.
Hear me out.
Whoa, Rufflestump.
Jeb could use his rod. Okay, so
Do you want to finish that, Fox?
sorry, that was
Rough
Cleo
stuff.
talking.
Yeah. You're good. You're a good horse. You're a good pony. Good pony.
Well, I rolled an 18.
Savage, you are confident that no matter this pony's intentions, it has freshly shoed feet and it's going through a rocky mountain area. It is not going to be able to keep itself quiet.
Clop, clop, clop,
Yeah.
clop, clop.
I mean, just look at his brand new shoes. They're very fresh, might I say, but that freshness does not help with stealth.
You're breaking my heart here, man.
I'm sorry, Jeb. I should have said something sooner. I thought it might not be a great idea, but you and Zoth just kind of went off and did it. I think this pony will be a great thing to look forward to after we succeed our
Think of
mission.
it as a reward when you get back, or when you
Yes.
get to where you're looking for.
Stay alive, if only for Rufflestump.
I'm
Ruffle-
gonna
here.
find the old man.
Yeah.
Hey, you in the market for a pony? It's documented.
Documented ponies? Oh,
It's
I
bred by
have
the
to see
finest
it
ponies.
first. Let me see that.
Yeah, it's right here. His
It's
name is
freshly shoed,
Rufflestump.
man.
Freshly shoed.
Well, it says here at the back of the pamphlet you can get it shoed in 30 minutes. Did you already do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, had it professionally done.
Oh,
And I tell you what, this pony, typically worth 10 gold pieces. I'll let you have it for 10 wingle digits.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
Sorry, you surprised me by latent lung infection from when I used to work in the mines back when I was 20 years old. I was
Sounds like you could use a pony to
no.
ride around on so you don't exacerbate that so much.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, I don't want to bore you with my life story of dating the love of my life that I grew up with. Back when I was probably just a young lad like
order
yourself.
a second drink.
So about that, so yeah, only 10 wingle digits. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know what? I never really collect wingle digits, but I just
Yeah,
happen
they're
to
not
have
good for
10
money,
on
but they're
me.
good for I just like to collect them. Yeah, here you go.
Oh yeah, well, here
Here's
you go.
here's the pamphlet. Yep, and thank you. Appreciate it. Have a great.
Thank you. What's his
I
name?
hope you're Rufflestump.
Chat's like, I hear ponies lose like
But
40% of their
feels-
value as soon as they walk off the lot.
Right, rough stuff. Come with me.
Yeah, there you go.
Nerd.
Farewell.
We often,
And Jeb
when
just
we are when we are mocking ourselves or being self-deprecating, we often talk about that time that we spent 35 minutes making a plan that wasn't relevant to the session, and then when the bumper played and then the whole session was different than the plan you made. We just spent 41 minutes not buying a pony.
We burnt like 2,000 calories laughing.
That's true. I just wanted you to know. 41 minutes. And
New
what we have
record.
done is not buy a pony.
We're doing everything in our power to, even though plane tickets have been bought, to delay.
This is the most D&D session that has ever been played.
I think Savage is just gonna find like kind of
pony and sold it.
You
Again.
did.
We bought and sold a pony in record
It was the
time, Josh.
fastest double transaction ever.
All right. All
right.
Guys, we need to start going.
Yeah, Savage is gonna chug the drink and throw some money towards the
Yeah, man,
bartender.
we'll come back for Ruffle
You hear a sound. It's getting louder. It's getting closer.
I get inside
Sound
a
like-
building. I don't
There
trust
aren't
that. I
very
don't
many
like it.
buildings.
I get under a roof.
Roll stealth.
Get under
Collapse the roof.
something. We gotta get under something.
I dive underground.
I
Zoff, what do
rolled
you do?
a 18.
Zoth will just dive wherever Fox goes.
On Fox.
Fox roll with disadvantage.
Never mind.
Alan got a
I
3
rolled
on
an
his
18.
stealth.
18. Okay.
Yes.
Alan got a 3. Jeb's underground. Don't roll. Savage, roll stealth.
Oh, 24.
Okay. Fox,
24.
you dive underneath of something and then you just hear Zoth kind of like stumble into it, and you are quick enough that you can like push the debris or whatever you're hiding under to make space for him. Savage, how do you hide? What's your play? You're in kind of a burnt out town.
We were sitting in somewhat of a bar, right?
Yeah, it was like an open bar.
Oh, open bar.
Just a bar sitting on the ground.
Oh no! At that point, I'm just gonna. I just kind of dipped behind the counter really quick with the bartender.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Jeb dove underground. Owlin, why didn't it work?
Alan just is too big. Like he tried to like hide behind maybe just like a table that was out in the open, like a table and chairs, and he just like he's too large. Like his
Yeah.
limbs were like sticking out, and like he just couldn't get under there in time.
Like
yeah.
All right, Alan, because of the scene you have described to me, I'm actually going to roll at disadvantage the perception check to spot you, because you might just look like someone who died in the town when it burnt down. I kid you not, 2 on the die.
Nice.
I thought you were gonna be like another nat 20.
No, 2 on the die, so they don't discover you. So as you all kind of get into cover, Jeb, who can look back out of his hole, Savage, who is just behind the bar and has a view of the sky, and Fox, who can probably kind of peek through the debris that you've shifted since you're like holding it up to make space for Zoth. The three of you see a very small airship fly overhead. It's got the Bright World Company logo emblazoned on the underside of it. It has two large skids that are kind of protruding downwards from it that it might use to land, and it has this big, like, it's almost like a single wing that is spinning above the area where the pilot is sitting, and it's zooming across. Swash, you have a hand up. Yes.
Does it seem to be within 100 feet of us?
No. It is up pretty high. It is like closer to, it's not as high as the clouds or like where the tugboat would be flying, but it's probably at least, half a mile off the ground. Okay. So this thing flies by, and as it's flying by, Fox and Savage, your keen, roguish and ranger eyes spot that there is a crew of 4 in a craft of this size, and that 3 of them are armed and like positioned at the windows. Only one of them is necessary to fly it. And then it kind of flies off into the distance. Nobody else in the town reacts. It seems pretty normal to them. Even Ruffleshump is not bothered by the sound of the airship flying by.
His feathers are not
What
ruffled.
do you say? I need to get me one of those. It looks to be some
Yes.
sort of flying contraption with a.
Like the cug.
Oh, we're gonna get one. We're gonna get one.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, Jeb.
There's been
Yeah,
a lot of
God.
activity with these all over this area. I constantly see them in and out. I try to do my best to stay stealthy when they fly over. They've been getting closer and closer to the ground, it seems. It's almost like they're looking for something.
All right, let's.
Either us or you.
Maybe we should get a move on.
You
Either
hear,
way.
like a big table creak as Alan
is our
like gets
cue.
out from underneath it. I hope that they did not see me. I will admit that was not my best attempt at hiding.
Well, they didn't turn around, so
That
They
is
didn't try and
wonderful.
win.
Grab any last minute
Yeah.
water or anything you need, and let's get on.
Alan,
going.
do you think you could make that one of these days?
I didn't get a chance to see it because I was too busy hiding very poorly.
Oh, shame.
But I would love to get a chance to get a closer look at one, and I'm sure we will.
Well, all right. Savage, after you.
All right then, gents, on our way. And Savage is gonna lead them up the hill, going north into the mountains.
Okay. You leave the town of Featherbrook and its friendly locals behind, and you begin climbing into the mountains. The first part of this climb is not so bad. Your altitude's pretty low. It's fall, but it's not like, it's not winter cold. And the tree line, which is still mostly alive from the year because it's not fully into winter yet, is plenty able to shield you from the whipping wind and whatnot without being so overbearing that you are just lost in the darkness. And so you pretty much, it's just a climb through the mountains with the occasional like duck out of the way of the wildlife type thing. There is an ecosystem that lives on these mountains, and so every now and then there's mountain goats and things like that you just kind of steer around. Savage has probably been using them for food in the past, but at the moment, because you all just jumped off of your airship, you have some supplies, and so it's not necessary to do that. You make it to like into the mountains proper. You are in the Cavorite Mountains at this stage. In fact, let me quick throw the map on screen just to kind of show our chat what the world looks like here. So if you look at this map, this mountain range in the center that says Rust Free on it, this is the mountain range that they're climbing through. And each hex on this map represents 30 miles. So they're trying to get to the northern edge of these mountains from the southern edge. They've just left the green foothills here. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's like 8 or 9 hexes for them to travel. So that's like 270 miles on the long end that they need to cross, which is a really long time. Luckily, they have an experienced ranger who knows the terrain who's going to help them navigate. But that's kind of what's going on. However, this city, formerly known as Rust Free, now called Stainless, is the first obstacle in your path. And so as your morning kind of delayed you a bit, your time spent in the town of Featherbrook. And so as the sun is already at high noon, you begin making your way towards the city of Stainless, and you begin to hear the distant sounds of industry as, you know, the city is kind of bustling. Stainless, as we know, is kind of a technological hub, somewhat of a futuristic city. They're very forward thinking. They're very innovative. In fact, there is a whole section of that city that is basically dedicated to like R&D. You know, they have a number of tech type companies, artificing guilds and things like that. And you can hear kind of the distant sounds of construction, and there's a monorail that helps connect the different parts of the city. So you can hear that kind of whooshing along the rails, the kind of that high pitched squeal that, you know, all metros kind of come with, is riding over the wind towards you. From your position in the mountains, you have a great view of the sky above Stainless. For one thing, the skyline of Stainless no longer includes the massive summit tower. In the place of that tower, there is a memorial type thing that has been built. It is a large pool or lake that has been constructed with some walking paths around it and things like that. The skies, though, above Stainless are just like, what am I trying to say? Like dotted with airships. Way more than you would have thought feasible, Fox. When you were in Stainless doing your crime capers, there were maybe 20 airships in the city. There are probably 20 airships just over a single district right now. Like, the city is just honeycombed above with airships. They are all different sizes and all different purposes, and that's just the ones right over the city. There are a few sparser airships that are flying in groups of 3 in circles around the borders of the city, kind of on each side. And you can also see a number of fortifications within Stainless that have been built, aimed inwards, like for pacifying riots and things, non-lethal fortifications. So that would be like walls, riot steps, things like that. But then also fortifications that are facing outwards. Previously, we know about Cannon Ridge, which is on the western side of Stainless, kind of aimed towards the nation of Aspesh. They've essentially extended Cannon Ridge in a U so that it covers Stainless from the south, the east, and the west. And then they're trusting kind of just the dangers of the mountains to prevent them from being attacked from the north. All of this supposedly having been built in the name of helping the city innovate into the future. And, you know, it's this peaceful agreement they've made with the occupying, you know, consultants from the Bright World Company, if you will, and that sort of thing. So that's what you can see kind of out there in the distance as you kind of gaze down towards Stainless. I'm going to need a stealth check on behalf of the party, which means that all of you are going to roll. And then we're going to take we're just going to count it pass fails. And if more than half of you pass, then the party passes.
Are we going through town or are we going around? Like around?
We're going around.
Okay.
That's at least Savage's plan.
It feels like a lifetime since I used to live in that city.
Yeah,
Definitely been
me too.
a long time since.
A little bit.
Well, I came here to pick you up, I think, Jeb, last time.
Yeah.
A couple things fell down in that, but
What happened?
That would explain the unrest that I hear about.
we may have, perhaps in the attempt to bring back Jeb, destroyed the tower.
Which is quite an accomplishment. It was quite a fixture in town. This is where I was living right before I met you guys.
Really?
Yes. I'm sure if we went back, I could find my quarters somewhere. It's where I was.
Do you have like an apartment here?
Yes. I mean, I'm sure it's been rented out to just someone else now. I've been gone for so long. But
Anyway, I'm gonna scout ahead.
How did we do in those stealth checks?
I got a
25.
Alan got an 18 on the die, surprisingly.
I got a 17.
Natural what, Jeb?
Net 20.
All right. As the airships continue flying and maneuvering, Savage knows this land well. and the four of you are seasoned adventurers. And so between Savage showing you the ideal terrain and you having studied the way that Fox has been hiding himself in situations that required stealth in the past, all of you are able to pretty easily conceal yourselves. And while you, of course, don't get confirmation that you're hidden, you don't see anything alter the movement patterns of the airships overhead. And so you feel relatively confident that you are undetected or that you've been dismissed. You know, maybe they've seen you, but they've decided you don't matter. Either of those would be acceptable for your current circumstance. As you pass by the city of Stainless, and it's slow going, you know, it's probably going to take you until the sun is moving down towards the horizon. Several hours here to kind of weave your way around the city using, you know, little goat trails and things like that up in the kind of crags of the mountains to keep yourselves masked. You do hear what to Owlin at least is some familiar sensations on the wind. You hear kind of random sensory sounds, some boats crashing in the waves. You hear the sounds of children laughing. You hear the sounds of fire burning. You hear the sounds of hammers on anvils. And some of it fits with the city, but some of it doesn't. Just every now and then kind of drifting across the wind.
Alan will signal for the group to pause and then quietly explain. He's like, I don't know if Savage, you've come across any creatures like this yet, but these random sounds that we're hearing, it means a being of chaos energy is near. Just wanted to make everyone aware that it will, there's a 99.99% chance it will not be friendly, and we will have to engage or avoid.
I will
I'm going to
say,
cast mage armor on myself, and Jeb just kind of with a little shimmery shield.
I will say I feel like our best bet is to avoid, because any sort of scuffle will give us more of a chance of being seen and or caught.
I agree.
Fox is gonna roll perception to see if he can't spot anything up ahead that would be the source of the sound.
Sure.
And he, nat 20!
Nat 20. Let's go. You know, in the presence of Jeb, that's a crit.
It's true.
Wow.
Fox, you don't see anything on the little goat trail that Savage has been leading you down. However, looking back towards the city, you are a little bit more attuned to looking for the source of something out of place. You've used it in your thieving. You've used it as a bard to try and read an audience. You've used it in just all over the different areas of your life. And so as you hear these sounds, unlike the others who hear them kind of reverberating on the wind, where it's like a sound that it just drifts in and out of your focus, for you, you're almost able to match what you're hearing with your eyesight. And so you begin to start narrowing down where specifically these sounds are coming from. And so as you hear each sound, you get a little bit closer. So at first you're like, oh, I think that's from the direction of the technology district or the artificing district. And then you look a little bit closer and you're like, oh, I think that's from like maybe the financial streets. And then you get a little bit closer and you're like, oh, I think it's coming from a sewer grate.
Well, guys, I think I found the source, and I think we might be fine, but it's something to definitely note.
Where do you think it's coming from?
I think it's coming from underground, in the sewer system specifically.
There were stories I've heard out of Stainless. That's what I had mentioned earlier, where they were talking about something going on in their sewers.
Well, it's chaos energy, whatever it is.
Jeb, you have a hand up.
Is there birds in the air, like crows circling around anywhere?
That's a great question. Why don't you
I know,
roll?
that's why I asked it.
Why don't you roll perception for me? And remembering that we're outside and it's daylight, I think that has some effect on you.
It is disadvantage for me. Oh, butternuts. I was a natural 20 and a 13 plus 0, so a 13.
With all the airships in the sky, you're pretty confident any birds would have been scared off anyway, but you don't see any birds.
Well,
What you looking for, Jeb?
well, I thought we heard rumors of like there being birds spotted around Stainless or something. I'm trying to remember.
I mean,
DM.
Yeah.
the birds might have been these smaller airships that people don't recognize. Which,
No.
speaking of which, I hear one now. We better make sure that we're not within sightline.
No, it's something else. DM. In my time here at Stainless, do I remember anything about what was going on in the sewers and the birds?
You can roll to recall. You will be diving back into the trauma of your time here.
What do I need to roll for that? Do you remember?
I don't know if I remember off the top of my head, but I have a note of it.
Because I remember the dice changes.
Yeah, it changes the more you roll and dive in. Let me see here.
Ooh, Jeb has trauma dice now.
That's
so
right.
did Alan for a little bit.
Trauma.
I got trauma because I couldn't bring Rufflestump with me.
That's right. That's
All
the real
aboard
trauma.
The trauma train.
Rip Ruffleshroom.
Hey, that's because Ruffleshrimp rolled bad.
Wow, how dare you blame Ruffles for their failings, and they're perfect in every way, shape, and form, okay?
perfect in the
I
form
can't
of
find
a
it
pony.
washed, so we're gonna say it's a D12 that you're rolling
D12.
against to overcome your
That sounds
trauma.
fair. Ooh. That's a natural one.
It's a natural one.
Oh,
Jeb, you look off towards Stainless and you try to remember, and instead what happens is your vision goes completely dark. You're shut in a room with no walls, room with only walls, room with no floor, no door, no window, nothing to see, nothing to hear. There is no sense. There is, wait, is that a girl laughing? A girl crying? Is that Violet? Is that what?
It's
What is
Violet.
that? No,
Violet.
there is a door. You open the door. You rush outside. You hear the sound of Violet crying. You can't see Violet. You're looking for her. Is she on the left? Is she on the right?
Where you at,
Is she
pup?
over the ledge?
Where you at?
Jeb, you leap forwards and jump off of the goat trail, trying to get to where Violet is. Take 3d6 of fall damage, and the fall snaps you out of the trauma.
Jeb!
The rest of you see Jeb
run
like
over
kind of
and help him
freezes
up.
up for a second, almost it's like a mild seizure where like he's got you know how like people's muscles and their face kind of twitch when they're sleeping and they're like having a really intense dream. He gets that look for a little bit and then he just leaps forwards right off the goat trail and down. As he falls, you know, it kind of like displaces some stones. They kind of rustle down the mountain next to him.
Jeb, are you okay?
Just
I'm gonna roll attention die.
hurt my pride. That's all.
Why'd you jump off?
Be careful, there's slippery rocks.
That's...
Might be the rain.
I think Fox clearly sees an excuse when he sees one and doesn't push it any further. Here, I'll throw down a rope.
Okay,
I can help pull the rope.
thank you, because I'm not good at climbing.
The group of you are able to raise Jeb up, no problem. He weighs like 2 pounds. That's probably not true, but he doesn't weigh very much. He's easy for you adventurers to lift.
Jeb, no need to think too hard about Stainless. It's all right. We'll answer those. Well, hopefully those mysteries won't need to be answered because we'll stop this.
Cool.
Stop this soon.
Yep, I'm ready to go.
All right.
Ready to go.
As you
Pull my
leave,
hat down over my eyes.
as you leave the city of Stainless behind you, the sound of
Pat Jeb on the back.
industry and such fading into the distance, the airships getting fainter and softer as you know less of them are near you. You find yourselves instead heading into Whisperwind Gorge. This is a ravine cut by a small babbling brook type situation into the mountains. Savage, you know this area well. There's very little to fear here as long as you don't disturb the bears. in Whisperwind Gorge, and you are pretty confident that it's probably fine. They're probably not out right now. But just to be safe, maybe everybody should roll a stealth check to try and not disturb the bears.
Can I roll to poke the bear?
21 for Zelth.
Owlin got a 4.
Non-nat 20 for Fox.
Savage actually got a 12.
Okay. How's Jeb doing? This is a group check.
16.
Jeb pushes you just barely over the edge. Savage getting maybe a little bit careless, but kind of pulls it back. You see a bear off in the distance. You get like in Metal Gear Solid where the little question mark appears, but it doesn't turn into an exclamation mark. It's just like a little curious kind of.
What was that noise?
Snorts a little. Yeah. What's that thing? Looks
Must
over
have
at
been
you.
the wind.
Exactly. Must have been the wind. And the bear kind of turns and goes back into its little cave home. The sun at this point has fallen below the height of the mountains, though it hasn't set completely. And so above you, the sky is a brilliant crimson as you begin walking through Whisperwind Gorge. The wind kind of swirling around you. The light grasses that are growing here on either side of the babbling brook are kind of gentle against Jeb's bare paws. And that's kind of the situation.
This
Hey guys,
is.
don't worry. I've got bear paws.
Well, they're definitely better than what the pony would have had.
This is true.
Okay, you don't gotta rub it in. I miss the guy already.
Like I said, something to look forward to when we're done.
Remember, we're doing this for him.
I do.
What? My
That's
pony?
the only reason.
Sorry, I was busy trying to sell these NFBs.
I'm going to roll the next
yeah.
tension die, which is
Jeb
die number 6. So we're going to clear the pool.
Bought a pony and immediately sold it.
DM, are we still in the gorge or have we just left it?
No, you're still in the gorge.
Okay.
It is quite beautiful here. I never really wandered out here before. This is kind of serene.
Just gonna like yawn. Savage is just gonna like yawn and just be like, "Yeah, I was here 2 days ago."
Well, yeah, I'm sure this all is feeling pretty samey to you.
Those bears are usually a little bit more active, so we actually got lucky this time around.
Everybody roll a
Usually I go
dexterity
around.
save.
Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
Bear woke up.
I had to open my mouth.
17 for Zelth.
11 for Alan.
24 for Fox.
25? Oh, sorry.
16.
Okay. 16s and below failed as the ground begins tremoring beneath your feet and the mountains experience a little bit of an earthquake. 2 of you are thrown into the brook, which is not strong enough to sweep you away or anything like that, but you are now soaking wet. And look in your inventory and double check if anything in your pack got wet, if it would ruin it. If it would, then it has. Because you have been like fully immersed in the brook.
I would assume my things that are flammable, like a torch and a tinderbox, probably would be ruined.
Yeah.
Dang.
You should be able to dry those out, right?
Well, the torch would be just a stick at that point. Like whatever coating he's put on it to make it burn would have washed off. Which, like, you can still burn a stick. It's just not.
I guess we kind of need to go animal hunting, as if there's another.
What about my books? Would my books get
Uh-oh.
Dang.
my book of Laredith's life, work, and research, and my book about how to build airships?
Roll a... So I feel like Owlin would be extra panicked about his books.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have you roll an artificer tools check to see if you packaged them for safety or not.
Okay.
Can we assume that Jeb would have packed all of his books for safety because he's a book guy?
I'm confident that Jeb's little spell book, Cole's Journal, is packed for safety. But for the others, I think the same as Alan. Let's have him roll an Arcana. Like it's a thing he's proficient in.
Alan got a 25.
Okay, Alan's able to protect his books. You fall into the stream, you panic briefly, and you're like, "Oh, I'm glad I wrapped those."
Oh, that would have been horrible.
Jeb?
28.
Yep, same thing. Like, whew, glad I protected my books at least.
Oh, yes, we were prepared there, Jeb. That was close.
My
Glad we
poor
didn't have
Tinder
that,
box is now ruined.
Mine as well.
The shaking continues for another minute or two before it subsides. It does displace some more rocks and stones and things which fall down, and you see that the bears, at least the ones that you saw before, have opted for flight rather than fight, and they are deep in their cave, kind of huddling towards the back of it.
And Alan roll nature to try to recall whether earthquakes like this were common when he used to live here.
Alan doesn't need to roll nature because you've actually had reports from 4 guys in the past that seismic activity has increased in this area, and there's not a good explanation for it.
Well, that seems like an example of that seismic activity that they were talking about.
DM.
Yep.
What's the ground look like here?
It is, so there's a little brook in the middle of it. There's some kind of like long flowing like wild grass on either side of it. And then the ravine, which is pretty narrow, I would say maybe 20 feet across at its widest points, and then it kind of narrows in towards the brook from time to time. The ravine is just like steep rock cliff type stuff. And it almost curves inwards again so that the top of it is actually even thinner, like even less light comes in. So it's like a strip of crimson sky above you.
I am going to burrow into the ground, and can I make a perception check to see if I can hear what direction this quake and stuff is coming from?
Sure, make it a disadvantage because the earthquake's just ended.
But with an earthquake, there's always an aftershock. I rolled a 19 plus 0.
Well, that crits in your presence.
It does.
You burrow down, and rather than hearing the direction it came from, you hear it continuing to travel the other direction, and you make your deductions. The earthquake came from Stainless.
Oh. My Jeb's head pops out of the ground. Pop. Hey, that thing just came from Stainless, and it's heading that way.
Savage, like these earthquakes are not uncommon. To you, this didn't seem out of the ordinary.
I thought Savage just would have thought that this always would have happened, like this was a normal thing, because this isn't technically other than being here for a year before that, this was a new place.
Yes, we've been hearing reports that these earthquakes have been happening far more frequently here than they used to, and that's quite alarming that they would be coming from the city. However, since we don't really know what the aboleths are doing or building there, I guess seems about right.
We don't really have time to look into it either, do we?
I don't think so.
Yeah, we don't really. Okay.
Well, let's note it down. Yeah.
Well, no, never mind. I was going to do a thing. It's all right.
Well, all right. Now you got me curious.
I don't want you to have to, like, part with one of your NFBs.
Oh, well, I might be willing to donate one to you if you want to invest later on in the future.
Okay, I'm getting in at the ground floor. Can I have one?
Yeah, here you go.
Sweet.
That one's got a little O grappled on it.
Oh, that's nice. And Jeb packs a shell into his blunderbuss and slides the bearing down into it too, and kind of sets it down like a little mortar, and it goes and it shoots it out, and it sprouts legs and arms and starts walking around. Hey, little guy, I want you to stay 100 feet behind us and let me know if the ground starts rumbling or like if anything's coming in our direction.
I'll try. I'm not so good at counting 100 feet. I only have 4 feet.
That's okay. But you know what I mean. So
sort of
hang
do.
out behind us.
Maybe you could
Yep.
carry a string, and then I could just stay at the end of the string. Just drag it behind you.
I tell you what, with an intelligence of 2, how about you just stay put? And when I say start walking, you start walking.
That sounds good.
So,
I can do it.
Nice. Nice.
You
Okay.
fudged my non-fungible ball bearing.
It's
I'm
been
not
a little while
apologizing.
since I've seen one of these little guys.
Yeah. Yeah, keep it in my back pocket.
Was
Just in
it
case.
at the Makar's castle the last time that
Yeah.
you used one of these?
Yep.
A small
Yeah.
amount of rain begins falling, some of it trickling through the roof of your Whisperwind Gorge.
Well, let's keep
Hey,
moving on. I would say.
Let's just all agree that we never talk about the time this ball bearing got fudged, okay?
Yeah, we will never speak of it again.
All right, good.
The rest of your time in Whisperwind Gorge is uneventful, and so you come to the Vista Shallows. This is a mountain lake that Savage often uses as a stopping point. And so as the sun disappears behind the horizon, as the moon's glow begins sort of diffusing across all the rain clouds that have gathered overhead, the subtle rain kind of falling towards you, the sounds of small mountain creatures that live out in this area, in this ecosystem, kind of riding back across the night towards you. It is time to make a camp for the evening. With Savage with you, I'm not going to ask for survival checks, but I will make it clear that because of the flights of the airships overhead, you're not going to be able to light a fire this evening, which is going to be cold and is going to require a constitution check from everybody.
Oh,
So
I
save
got-
for
I
a
got
check.
us. I got us. No, I got us. We're good. Savage, can you find us like a cool place with maybe like a little bit of an overhang?
Oh,
And-
absolutely. I actually have I have a little something hidden that I use for myself when I come by here. So I'll
Okay.
pull that out.
Okay.
Savage
And Jeb
leads
is
you over
going to
there.
use the heel of his bear paws and just kind of scratch a big circle in the ground. And I'm going to ritual cast a tiny hut. And it's going to kind of like poof up like one of those pop-up tents.
Yeah.
And I can color it any color, so it's going to look like the surrounding foliage.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so a little
Savage.
hut kind of springs into existence here, where Jeb has ritual cast this, and you all can go in and get some reprieve from the rain. And so, as you're sitting down at a campfire, is there any conversation, or are you just turning in for the night? This is,
There's no campfire.
or yeah, I guess you're sitting down in your cabin.
It's nice and
I-
warm, though.
I will cast. I'll find some like large head-sized stones and cast prestidigitation to warm them to about a comfortable warmth, and that lasts for about an hour. And I'm like, and I hand one to each person. I'm like, this should help you sleep.
Thank you. Fox.
Just cuddle
That's
your
very
rock.
kind.
Here's
Savage.
your
Rock.
Love it.
here's your cuddling rock.
Hey, Foxman, this reminds me. You remember that time back in the village?
Well, we had many times back in the village. You're gonna have to be more specific than that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You always know.
All right.
You're the real fox.
Who told you? No. No. If you're talking about the time we all had to camp out under the stars because
Yeah, man.
we were worried about bandits. They never did show up, by the way.
Also, stockwood. When
Well,
the
I
wood
mean-
was all wet, you had to warm the stones up.
That's true. It's just well, we had to use an actual fire back then to get the wood dried, and it was a whole process. Nobody could sleep well, and the fire wasn't burning right, so we ended up using the rocks from the fire. I didn't have spells back then, but
But we're thankful for it now. and of Jeb's spells. This hut is extremely pleasant.
Yeah. Have a sec.
Yeah, it keeps the rain off. Rain sounds nice
It does.
on the roof.
I agree. Well,
Well,
Savage.
Savage has been in his this chest that he has that he keeps in a tree trunk nearby when he comes by here, and he pulls out a couple mugs, and then just pours like his little water glass into each of them. Just kind of passes them out for everybody to have a sip.
thank you.
oh. Is this where we find out you've drugged this and you're going to steal everything we own for the time I may have attacked you?
Savage is gonna slowly put the rope away that's on his lap. No, just
Did we ever pay you?
the payment. I don't think
I don't
we
think
need to
we
talk
ever
about
paid you.
that. We can talk about that after this excursion. I have enough contacts in your company that I can get that done.
I mean,
good.
to be honest, if we succeed here, we should just put you on the payroll. That would just be my preference.
That would fix everything. Then there would never be an IOU.
There you go. We'll figure
mean-
something out.
Absolutely. That's how I ended up getting into this, because I met a halfling, I believe, by the name of Shale.
Oh, yes, we know
Oh, you
Shale.
met Shale.
Yeah, and that's how we got in contact. We had a drink, met him at a bar, and he told me about 4 interesting fellas and adventures, and I also told him about 4 guys and some adventures, and it seemed that we came to a conclusion that we were talking about the same 4 guys. And so he offered me this job because he noticed my skills, and that's why I've been here for the past year or so.
Well,
Man,
I'm sure
Shale is so
your
cool.
Shale is extremely cool.
Well,
I'm
I
sure your
guess,
presence here has been very welcome. People have been really happy to be able to find passage here.
You hear the same stories from everybody as they go through, but it's all the same thing. They all want out. They all want safety.
If you don't mind me asking, might be a difficult question to answer right now, but I guess like if we ever did end up hiring you, what would you say is like your number one strength and weakness?
This is really the time
Savage
Fox.
is going to take a sip and just be like, I'd assume my interview starts now.
No, it does not have to start now. In my opinion, you're already hired, Fox.
I agree with that.
Oh, come on. It was a good one.
I could just look at Fox and just be like,
Kind of,
Savage just looks at Fox and says, he goes, well, I'm proficient with a rope. And just kind of winks at him.
You know what? Got me there.
So what kind of pay rate were you expecting?
I'm going to be real. I'm more of a go with the flow kind of guy. The urge to acquire money, it wasn't as strong, I guess, after our adventures. After I started seeing the world needed more help. And money was less in my mind. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoy a little something in my pocket. But I understand there's more at stake.
Here's a little down payment, and I give him a single wing.
I thought you were gonna give him an NFB.
That's what I thought you were giving him too.
You're just gonna
Right.
grab
I
it
give him
too.
a little wing and an NFB.
This will hold you
Maybe.
over until these wings are
Nod his head.
outdated.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah, Savage is just gonna take it and thank him and put it into his pocket. Just tap it, just for a safe spot. Like, there it is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get some sleep. I think I'm gonna need the rest for tomorrow's journey.
Yeah, I'll do watch, and then do you want to switch with me later, Savage?
Absolutely, sounds like a plan.
All right. And I'm gonna go ahead and.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
You go ahead.
I'm rolling a general perception check
Yeah, you are.
for 22.
Okay.
I'm gonna mentally communicate, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, BB, would you just like walk a perimeter and let us know if you see anything?"
Yeah, I'll do it.
Cool, man.
Wait, Does like
the word perimeter means, but I'm just walking.
We never did see that BB again.
I guess I'll take the first wash with you, Fox, because I'm not gonna sleep until he's done making his perimeter.
Oh yeah, is he giving you trouble?
Oh, he's just singing. I guess that's what he does when he walks a perimeter.
If a perimeter, it's the kind of line
It's
that
kind of
goes
cute,
through
but
the
you know, it's
same
like
as the
after it
other
loops for a
line, I
while,
think.
it's just
Oh.
kind of. Yeah.
No, wait. Is your perimeter, is that the line that goes opposite to the first line?
You just keep walking and then turn every third step.
Turn every third step. Okay.
Yep. Just like this.
And left.
Just
and
like
right.
this.
And right. And left.
If I ever have children, I want to teach them the way you just taught that BB what a perimeter is. I'm gonna go ahead, I guess, and as keeping an eye out, I'll bring out the broom.
Oh, hey, what's up,
and set it in front of us and be like, well, just me.
This hut is
Jeb.
really clean. I vibe with it. I dig it.
And this broom.
Savage is gonna stare very awkwardly at the broom.
Savage hears a voice in his head.
What you looking at?
He's gonna kind of like put his head back a little bit, and he's just gonna kind of shake it off
Fox,
like he
why is
didn't
he
hear
looking at
anything.
What? Who's looking at you?
The new guy.
Oh, Savage?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Savage, if it helps you sleep, the voice in your head is a broom.
On that note,
Again.
tonight's Dungeons and Dragons session comes to a close.